morning, sunshine, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Hello. Another episode of the Cosmic D. I mean, it is what it is. I'm chit-chatting with y'all. I'm chit-chatting on my podcast like I'm out to tea with a friend, and I don't know how else to do it. There's likes, there's there's curses, there's pauses. The audio is not perfect. I don't edit. I just don't. Maybe someday. But thanks for being here. It means a lot to me. It just feels like we're doing this together. We're doing this uncurated. We're doing this from our hearts. We're doing this from this wild human experience and being authentic with that. Be like, yeah, it's fucking crazy sometimes. So, in this episode, I talk about, honestly, my brain, we label it as ADHD. It's just all over. So I'm talking about the concept of probable timelines, quantum leaping, vibration a little bit, some Akashic record work. What kind of put me on this tangent is I was just journaling around what I do. I was like, what am I doing in the energy field? How do I better explain and understand a block? And that's kind of how I channel, is like I'll receive a question or give myself a question or concept, and then I open myself to the channeling and have it explained to me from these higher mind-aligned specific guides that I work with. And it's interesting, so have fun. Bye. I'm always trying to better just understand what I'm doing in Akashic work, in this quantum field work, in a way to explain so that not only are my offerings more clear and, safe, I think that just understanding all of the things that we can do in energy work together makes people feel safe. But also just so we can all start to wrap our minds around some of these concepts in a way that is relatable to our reality that we're seeking to integrate. Because oftentimes with these concepts of quantum leaping and aligning, it's like, my gosh, it's so complex. And the fact that we shame and guilt ourselves for not having these results, right? We're seeking these results is wild in and of itself. But I lost what I was even thinking about. This is what. A lot of times when we are seeking this quantum leap or this shift in energy and to feel better and to vibrate higher and to align and to manifest, it's in resistance to our current reality. And that in and of itself is the block. I don't love that word, but I don't know another word. I'm going to have to think of a word because it's not a block. I know the feeling of feeling like it's a block, but feeling into it energetically and the way I visually see it and move around and, people's fields and stuff, it's certainly not a block. It's not like you are walking and then hit a wall. It's not at all. I feel like a block implies that it's not moving. And the truth is, everything's always moving. So even as I'm talking, I'm getting that visual in my mind's eye of it's like an entanglement of energy. I have a piece of rope in front of me. I wish I could show you a picture. But a ball-ish of string. Kind of like a yarn ball, but it's energy. And it's vibrating and twisting. That's what it is. So it's not a block. It's like a yarn ball in your auric fields. Anyway, resistance to your current reality feeds. Okay, it feeds these entanglements that are creating the feeling of being blocked in the first place. And the reason for that is these entanglements are created when we spend most of our time in the finite mind. And there's so many different words for the finite mind and the infinite mind. So there is, Bashar calls it the physical mind and the higher mind. It's really often referred to by a lot of people as like, I don't know, I guess the ego and the higher self. In Kundalini, it's kind of called, we refer to the mental bodies as the positive, negative, and neutral mind. So the neutral mind would be what would be the higher mind. And then the ego. So there's so many different ways to talk about it. And essentially, these entanglements are created from frequencies being channeled through these aspects of the mind that function in lower density. So physical mind, physical density, finite mind, finite, can't see all that is, positive or negative, stuck in duality. Okay? So one of the things that I do in my one-on-one work, that I call it Galactic Akashic, because Akashic just means, it's a Sanskrit word. It derives from Sanskrit, and I don't have the exact definition in front of me, so forgive me if I'm not translating it verbatim, but it's like Akasha, so it's just the field of all that is, the energy of all that is. And I've put galactic in front of it because, obviously I communicate quite easily with ETs, and they're my favorite frequency to communicate with. And I like going into what some of your galactic lives, how your galactic parallel timelines are attributing to your current point in consciousness. So I don't do future work, right? I say that in the questionnaire. It's like, do you understand that this is not a reading where I'm predicting the color of your soulmate's hair? Like that is not the work I do. I'm not into it. I find it limited. But one thing that we can work with is feeling into probable timelines based on your current frequencies and all of the emotional body that's playing into your current timeline, your current frequency, your now reality. And then going through the parallel spaces of if certain entanglements are worked through, if, certain channels of excitement are followed. These are more probable timelines because they're grooved in. So when we talk about quantum leaping, the idea is jumping from grooved in parallel timelines to like a very different, not grooved in timeline, where it's like a drastic shift. It is a quantum leap. You like hurtle beyond time and space. I've yet to see this happen in any sort of sustainable way. I see it as a rubber band, effect. You're going to come back. I've never, not that it's not possible, but it's not in the way that it's being commercialized and sold and taught, whatever. I don't know what my point is, as per usual. But, so in like these sessions that I do, we can look at probable timelines, look at your energy, talk about the desire, explore where the desire is coming from, what frequencies are attributing to the desire, what's going on in your emotional body, how a galactic parallel timeline perhaps is contributing to what we would call blocks. So much. It is so much. And it's really, the possibilities are endless. And I have to check, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to hit 100. Like 100 galactic Akashic readings in the past, year. I've only been calling them this for a year. But anyway, the point is I continue to learn and understand it more and more and more and more. And I've been doing it. I started channeling more in this way, in this cosmic awareness for almost 15 years now, and reading other people in a professional sacred setting since 2016, so almost 7 years. Wow. And yeah, anyway, so when we look at your energy fields, we're looking at probable timelines, and we're doing like a frequency analysis. What's going on in your frequency? And we're always changing frequencies. That is, we're always shifting realities. We're constantly shifting realities. It's just that the parallel realities aren't that different from one another, really. And a lot of times it's on the outskirts, right? We're not seeing it. So if I'm sitting here at the table sipping coffee and I'm just really feeling miserable, I'm in a timeline that matches that frequency. It can be a neutral thing. Doesn't mean I'm doomed. Doesn't mean I'm bad. It doesn't mean I'm not spiritual. It doesn't mean I fucked up. I'm doing what we're here to do. It's what we do. That's what motion is. It's what movement is. That's what emotion is. It is energy in motion. And this energy in motion is what is shifting our timelines and creating our reality. So anyway, I'm sitting here. I'm like, mopey. All good. Fine. Versus say I'm sitting here and I'm stoked. I feel excited. Life feels exciting. I'm noticing the sunshine. I'm admiring the trees. I see my dog breathing and I'm happy. That's a completely different reality. And it's shifting on the outskirts, right? So imagine it like you can't see that you've shifted that timeline because the noticeable changes, let's just say they're on the outskirts. And the more I stay in that state, I'm going to see synchronicities. I'm going to get signs, right? That's what synchronicity is. It's like a guiding post to like timeline shifting into higher frequencies, not because the lower frequencies are bad, simply because it's more in alignment with your true natural energy. The energy, the experience when you let go of everything that the finite mind or the physical mind or the ego, the negative positive mind are trying to grasp and attach to and see ahead. So it's interesting to look at like, well, what's keeping me from the flow state, this field of synchronicity, this more, it's a preferable reality. I don't think we can argue with that these experiences and timelines where things flow more is a preferred reality. Another misconception, I think it's like, oh, if I'm aligned, nothing bad is ever going to happen. No, well, like silly goose. Of course, like we live in this third density. Lots happening. And it's just natural for things to come up. And we experience the illusion of separation, which makes death and loss so hard. It is a confrontation. Confronting? Grief, the experience of death, someone you love dying. You're being confronted with the greatest illusion of all time. That there's impermanence, because there's not. We know that their energy is infinite deep inside, and there's no separation, but we're being confronted with that painful experience of separation. Yeah, so there's a lot. And maybe I made sense? Anyway, if you're listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, I'm sure I'm doing readings. It's either in a waitlist period or a books open period. As I'm recording it, the books are open. I've got a few spot lefts for October 2022. But either way, find me, follow me, say hi, and we can talk about, if you want to explore any of this. And if not, that's cool too. Just hang out with me. Hang out on the podcast. Hang out on Instagram. Hang out. It's kind of like the only places I really... Oh, my email list. Hang out on my email list. And if you have questions, let me hear them. Because a lot of this comes from people asking me questions, and then I have the opportunity to clarify more too. So I appreciate your questions. I'll do my best. Okay, bye.